The vignette clearly typifies many of the risk factors that have been borne out not only in my research but in others. Mental health problems, which seem to be ambient in the psychologically abusing son, are prevalent in these individuals. Dependency, physical dependency of the older adult. In this case, she was dependent on him to get medication, seemed to be risk factors. So in many ways, it was very representative of the kinds of cases we see. Clearly social isolation. This woman occupied a space that came to involve, it looks like, only her and her son. I suspect that the woman in the vignette is not currently employed. I doubt that she would miss a day of work where a colleague or a coworker would notice she's missing or came with an injury. Older adults are frequently isolated, and unlike children who might come to school with a bruise or an injury or not come to school, and there's a formal mechanism in place to detect abuse or neglect, social isolation is probably not only contributes to neglect, but it also contributes to the difficulty in detecting. It would not surprise me if when that son brought his mother to the doctor, he was on his best behavior. So that small window of interacting with a primary care physician is often not the best place to be detecting elder abuse. Often I'll ask my receptionist at the front desk about how people interacted, or they will come to me spontaneously. And often I'll be surprised how a lovely adult child or spouse winds up being someone involved in abuse or neglect, intentionally or unintentionally. So insofar as our research showed that for one victim discovered, a couple of dozen go undiscovered, this case could represent that. Well, we've conducted a number of important studies in the field of elder abuse and neglect. The most recent was an elder abuse prevalence study in New York State, the largest conducted in any state, in which we interviewed well over 4,000 older adults from all corners of New York, rural, urban, virtually every county was represented in the study in this rather geographically and ethnically and culturally diverse state. And we found a one-year incidence of well over 7% of all forms of elder abuse. So shocking. So 1 in 13, 1 in 14 subjects abused within the past year. The most common form of mistreatment was financial exploitation, about 4%, or 1 in 25. Another very compelling finding of that work was that for each case that we discover, that we see through Adult Protective Services or official means, 23 or 24 go undiscovered. They're hidden, and we entitled the prevalence study Under the Radar for that reason. I've also conducted a number of studies looking at risk factors and outcomes of elder abuse. A widely cited study from the late 1990s showed that elder abuse victims were over 3 times as likely to die than a non-abused control group after adjusting for their chronic illnesses, their age. So it would appear that elder abuse and neglect confers independent mortality. It's an independent risk factor, even when you take into account the chronic illnesses that people bring to the experience of elder abuse. And that's important because frequently patients with chronic illnesses have those illnesses blamed or misascribed. A fracture is from osteoporosis when in fact it was from elder abuse. I think that this is a problem that erodes quality of life for older people. It erodes it more so than, in many cases, diabetes or hypertension or all the problems we spend our Medicare dollars on. And what I tell my medical residents is, you adjust someone's insulin or you tweak their blood pressure medication and you get a good result. That's important, and hopefully that patient will do well. You aid someone in an abusive situation, and that is a profound change in quality of life that rivals anything we do in modern American medicine. I think this is within the purview of physicians as well as other professionals that see older adults, and I always urge my trainees and the physicians I come in contact with to have their antenna up, to be on the lookout for elder abuse and neglect.